breaking the chains from generational trauma to transformational healing. Welcome to a journey of transformation, resilience, and hope. Today, we're delving into a story that will challenge your perceptions, stir your emotions, and inspire you to embrace the power of healing. Our guide on this profound journey is Tywanah Evette, a fourth-generation intuitive healer, psychic medium, spiritual guide, and international best-selling author. Tywanah's life is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds and emerge not just whole, but radiantly empowered. Tywanah Evette isn't just sharing her story. She's igniting a movement. Her work through Black Butterfly Goddess is revolutionizing how we approach healing, especially for women who have faced generational trauma. She's not just changing lives, she's transforming legacies. With every woman she helps, Tywanah is breaking cycles of pain that have persisted for generations, creating ripples of healing that will be felt for years to come. Imagine for a moment a life shaped by shadows you didn't choose, a life where pain isn't just a visitor, but a constant companion passed down like an unwanted heirloom. This was the world Tywanah Evette was born into. From her earliest breaths, she inherited a burden that wasn't hers to carry, yet it profoundly influenced every aspect of her existence. Tywanah's childhood was a battleground, marked by her father's abuse. These early experiences left scars that ran deep, shaping her understanding of the world and her place in it. She learned early on how to endure, how to push forward despite the weight of her experiences. But as she would come to realize, endurance is not the same as healing. Carrying the pain of those who came before her without understanding it kept her trapped in a cycle she didn't even know she was trying to break. This pain didn't stay confined to her childhood. It followed her into adulthood, manifesting in ways she couldn't have anticipated. In 2004, Tywanah survived a near-fatal car accident that left her with lasting injuries. Then, in 2012, another car accident further challenged her ability to care for herself and her family. These moments, which could have broken her spirit entirely, instead became pivotal turning points in her life. But the challenges didn't stop there. In 2020, Tywanah faced what she describes as one of the darkest moments of her life. A covert narcissist entered her world, slowly chipping away at her spirit, making her doubt herself in ways she never had before. The emotional and psychological toll was devastating, pushing her to a place she never imagined she would be, attempting to end her own life in 2022. I want you to pause for a moment and really let that sink in. Here is a woman who had already endured so much, who had survived physical and emotional trauma, who had picked herself up time and time again. And yet she found herself at the edge, ready to give up. This is the reality of trauma, of carrying burdens that were never meant to be ours alone. It can push even the strongest among us to our breaking point. But here's where Tywanah's story takes a remarkable turn. Even in that moment of deepest darkness, something inside her refused to give up. She describes it as her ancestors whispering to her, her spirit team reminding her that her story was far from over. This moment, as painful and terrifying as it was, became the catalyst for the deepest healing she had ever experienced. Tywanah's journey of healing is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. She came to understand that healing isn't about erasing the past, it's about acknowledging our pain, facing our truth, and understanding that we were never meant to simply survive, we were meant to thrive. This realization became the foundation of Tywanah's life's work. Through her organization, Black Butterfly Goddess, she has dedicated herself to helping women heal from trauma, find their purpose, and grow spiritually. She intimately understands what it means to feel lost, to feel disconnected from your power, to believe that healing is something just out of reach. But she also knows the other side of that journey. She knows what it means to break free, to reclaim your voice, and to step fully into your divine calling. Tywanah's work isn't just about healing, it's about liberation. It's about giving women the tools, the knowledge, and the support to break the cycles that have held them back for generations. It's about helping them recognize their own intuitive gifts, their own spiritual power, and their ability to create a life that is not defined by their pain, but by their purpose. The message Tywanah wants every woman who hears her story to understand is this: your trauma does not define you. Your past does not dictate your future. You have the power to heal, to rise, and to step into the life that was always meant for you. Now, you might be thinking, that's a beautiful sentiment, but how do we actually do that? How do we begin to heal from trauma that feels so deeply ingrained in who we are? This is where Tywanah's insights become truly transformative. First and foremost, Tywanah emphasizes the importance of acknowledging our pain. So often we try to push our trauma aside, to bury it deep within us, thinking that if we ignore it, it will go away. But as Tywanah's story shows us, unaddressed pain doesn't disappear. It festers, it grows, and it can eventually consume us. The first step in healing is to bring our pain into the light, to look at it honestly and say, yes, this happened to me, and it hurt me deeply. But acknowledgement is just the beginning. Tywanah teaches that true healing requires us to reclaim our power. For so long, she felt powerless in the face of her trauma, as if her life was being dictated by forces beyond her control. It was only when she began to recognize her own strength, her own resilience, that she could begin to shape her own narrative. This process of reclaiming power involves reconnecting with our intuition. Tywanah, as a fourth generation intuitive healer, understands the profound wisdom that lies within each of us. She believes that trauma often disconnects us from this inner knowing, making us doubt ourselves and our abilities. Part of her healing work involves helping women tap back into this intuitive power, trusting their own inner guidance system. Another crucial aspect of Tywanah's healing philosophy is the importance of breaking generational cycles. She recognizes that much of our trauma isn't just personal, it's inherited. We carry the unresolved pain of our parents, our grandparents, and those who came before us. Breaking these cycles requires us to do the deep work of understanding where these patterns come from and consciously choosing to create new, healthier ways of being. Tywanah also emphasizes the spiritual dimension of healing. For her, connecting with her ancestors and her spirit team was a crucial part of her journey. She believes that we all have access to spiritual guidance and support if only we open ourselves to it. This doesn't necessarily mean adhering to any particular religious tradition, but rather recognizing the sacred within ourselves and the world around us. One of the most powerful aspects of Tywanah's work is her emphasis on purpose. She believes that healing isn't just about overcoming our past. It's about stepping into our future. It's about recognizing that our pain, as difficult as it may have been, has also given us unique gifts and insights. When we heal, we're not just releasing our trauma, we're uncovering our true calling. This idea of purpose is transformative. It shifts our focus from what has happened to us to what we can do with our lives. It turns victims into survivors and survivors into thrivers. Tywanah's own journey is a testament to this. She took her pain and transformed it into a mission to help others, to break cycles of trauma, not just for herself, but for countless other women. But Tywanah is quick to point out that this journey isn't easy. Healing is hard work. It requires courage to face our pain, strength to challenge our ingrained beliefs, and perseverance to keep going even when it feels impossible. She knows firsthand the temptation to give up, to believe that we're too broken to ever be whole. This is why community is such an important part of Tywanah's work. She understands that healing doesn't happen in isolation. We need support. We need understanding. We need people who can hold space for us as we do this difficult work. Through Black Butterfly Goddess, she's created a community where women can come together, share their stories, and support each other on their healing journeys. Tywanah's story and her work remind us of a fundamental truth. Healing is possible. No matter how deep our trauma, no matter how long we've carried our pain, transformation is within our reach. But it requires us to take that first step, to make the choice to heal. So, what does this mean for you listening to this right now? Perhaps you're carrying your own trauma, your own unresolved pain. Maybe you felt stuck, trapped in cycles that seem impossible to break. Tywanah's message to you is clear. You are not broken. You are becoming. Your trauma does not define you. It's simply a part of your story, not the whole of it. The journey of healing that Tywanah describes isn't just for her or for the women she works with directly. It's a journey that's available to all of us. It starts with acknowledging our pain, with being honest about the ways we've been hurt and the ways we've hurt others. It continues as we begin to reclaim our power, to trust our intuition, to connect with our inner wisdom. As we do this work, we start to see the patterns in our lives, the cycles that have kept us stuck. We begin to understand where these patterns come from, not just from our own experiences, but from the unresolved trauma of those who came before us. And with this understanding comes the power to choose differently, to break these cycles and create new, healthier ways of being. This journey also invites us to connect with something larger than ourselves, whether we call it spirituality or simply a sense of purpose. This connection reminds us that we're not alone in our healing. We have support seen and unseen, cheering us on, guiding us forward. And as we heal, we discover our purpose. We realize that our pain hasn't just been meaningless suffering. It's been preparing us for something. It's given us insights, empathy, and strength that we can now use to make a difference in the world. Just as Tywanah has used her experiences to help other women heal, our healing journey can become a light for others. But remember, this journey isn't a straight line. There will be setbacks, moments when the old pain resurfaces, times when we feel like we're back at square one. Tywanah's life shows us that healing is ongoing. It's not about reaching a perfect state where we never hurt or struggle again. It's about developing the tools, the resilience, and the self-compassion to navigate life's challenges from a place of wholeness. Now, as we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge, a call to action that goes beyond mere words and demands your engagement, your commitment to change. Imagine a world where generational trauma is not an inescapable fate, but a cycle we have the power to break. A world where every person who has suffered understands that their pain is not their destiny, but a launching pad for transformation. This is not a utopian dream. It's a reality we can create starting right here, right now. Your challenge is this: commit to your healing journey, not just for yourself, but for the generations that will follow you. Recognize that every step you take towards healing is an act of rebellion against the cycles of pain that have persisted for far too long. Your healing is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Start by acknowledging your pain. Speak it out loud, write it down, share it with someone you trust. In doing so, you're already beginning to break the silence that allows trauma to fester across generations. Then, take one concrete action towards reclaiming your power. It might be seeking therapy, joining a support group, or simply setting a boundary that honors your well-being. Remember, every small step is a victory. But don't stop there. As you begin your healing journey, commit to being a beacon of hope for others. Share your story, offer support to those who are still struggling, become an advocate for mental health and healing in your community. Your journey can inspire countless others to begin their own. Challenge the stigma around mental health and healing, especially in communities where these conversations have long been taboo. Be the voice that says it's okay to not be okay, and it's more than okay to seek help. Educate yourself about generational trauma and share that knowledge. The more we understand about how trauma is passed down, the better equipped we are to break its hold. And perhaps most importantly, cultivate compassion for yourself, for those who came before you, and for those who are still struggling. Understand that hurt people, but healed people have the power to heal people. This is not just about personal transformation. It's about changing the very fabric of our society. Imagine the ripple effects if each of us committed to this healing journey. We could create communities, organizations, and eventually a world where trauma is met with understanding and support, where healing is prioritized, and where every individual is empowered to reach their full potential. The path Tywanah Evette has walked, the wisdom she has shared is not just her story, it's a roadmap for all of us. It's a call to action, a challenge to each of us to step up and be part of this healing revolution. So I ask you, will you answer this call? Will you commit to your healing, not just for yourself, but for all those whose lives you touch? Will you be part of breaking the chains of generational trauma and creating a legacy of healing and empowerment? The choice is yours. The power is within you, and the time is now. Let's not just talk about healing. Let's embody it. Let's not just dream of a better world. Let's create it, one healed heart at a time. Together, we can transform pain into purpose, trauma into triumph, and create a future where every individual has the opportunity to thrive, not just survive. The journey starts with you. The revolution begins now. Are you ready to break the chains and step into your power? The world is waiting for your healing, for your light. It's time to shine.